Mobile water, unique in every way.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. We are live on myjoyonline.com. We're live in all 16 regions. We are on Jubilee FM in Keta, Buipe FM in Buipe, Ganga FM in Jirapa. We are live on X Spaces. We're on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol. Your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol is always a delightful experience. This afternoon, a nationwide strike to cripple government business high on the agenda as labor unions meet to take a firm position in protest against the pension regulatory authorities' green light given to SNIT to sell off 60% stake in some 4 hotels.
Our position, our suggestion tomorrow at the meeting will be that organized labor and shut down completely.
We're live. Other crucial meeting. Also, NPP running mate Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh apologizes for comparing the achievements of Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, to those of incumbent President Akufo-Addo, sparking mixed reactions.
The apology did nothing except rub salt into the wounds of those who were offended.
For me, it's good that he's come out to render an apology to those.
We'll also get to hear from the leadership of the CPP, the party founded by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. They are demanding more.
Until we see a signed statement or we hear from him speaking to the said letter that he issued it, then we can respond appropriately. Also in this package. Sounds of aggrieved residents along Bong to Dawenya Road demand the immediate recall of contractors to the site as they pour on the street to protest the bad nature of the road.
This road has been started not now, about 7 years, 5 years now. The road is still not completed. What do we do? What have we done to deserve this?
Like when you are going to work, maybe sometimes you need to park your car and take it like trotro because it's killing us.
We're live for the action. Also launching public awareness campaigns, introducing children to a healthy diet and improving access to preventive care. We'll bring you details of some of the recommendations from our experts at the Joy News National Dialogue on NCDs.
2/3 of your meal has to be fruits and vegetables. You don't have any other option. That's what you have to eat.
Where we live and work, we need to ensure that we make provision for people to exercise.
And there's sports and that and more here on the Midday News. I am Emefa. Apawu, please do stay on for details. Many thanks for your company. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism, and this afternoon labor unions are in a meeting to take a firm position, including a nationwide strike in protest against the National Pensions Regulatory Authority's decision to allow the Social Security and National Insurance Trust SNIT to sell off 60% of its stake in some 4 hotels. The unions, including Organized Labour, National Association of Graduate Teachers and Ghana Federation of Labour, say they will push for the mother union to declare a nationwide action and roll out series of protests to resist the sale of SNIT stake in these 4 hotels. NAGRAT President Angel Kabonu told us last night anything short of this will stage a walkout from the meeting.
And the position of NAGRAT tomorrow will be to suggest to the entirety of leaders that all organized labor unions in the country should lay down their tools. That is going to be the position of NAGRAT.
Why? Isn't that extremism?
No, at all. It looks as if one person, one hotel is more important to the government of pension contributors in this country. Our position, our suggestion tomorrow at the meeting will be that organized labor and shut down completely.
Well, President of the Ghana Federation of Labour, Abraham Kumsing, also says they back the position announced by NAGRAT.
We are together on this particular issue. So for what? If it is mismanagement, why keep them there? What is it? I don't understand. Why are they rushing to sell this thing? For what? If I happen to deal with these issues, and you are playing your role, because I also going to the fund. If you are not very careful, you will retire and there will be at the end of the month.
That's Abraham Crimson there with the Federation of Labour. Well, Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, says he would file another question to hold the Employment Minister and NPRA boss before the House to justify how it gives SNIT the green light to undertake the sale.
I am going to be demanding that the minister is summoned, and he must come with the NPR, and they must come and justify, tell us what they have done, review processes that they did, and how, in the face of the transaction advisors, damn it, NPRA can give SNIT a green light.
That's the North Tongue MP Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa after the Minister of Employment, Labour and Pensions announced that the NPRA has given the green light to SNIT to undertake the sale of their stake in these 4 hotels. Well, Labour is meeting on this matter. There are concerns, at least you've heard from NAGRAT and also the Federation of Labour on this matter. My colleague Blessed Soga is monitoring that crucial meeting for us. He joins us via Zoom. Blessed, what have you been able to glean from that meeting so far?
So that meeting is yet to wrap up. It will wrap up in a few moments from now. But here at the TUC Hall in Accra, Organized Labour is meeting over the decision for government to, seize the transfer of ownership, or perhaps when it comes to the sale of the hotels which belong to SNIT. Now, from what we're eavesdropping, it appears that Organized Labour is making the decision to fully shut down by next Monday. And if the meeting is anything to go by, it appears that leadership is coming to a gradual consensus that must be the case, that from next week, almost all public sector workers will withdraw their services. We're yet to fully get that confirmation from leadership of Organized Labour. But then, eavesdropping into that meeting, it is becoming clear that is the decision of leadership of Organized Labour.
Can you confirm to us who are in this meeting as we speak?
So we have, a cross-section in terms of leadership from all other public sector labor organizations. And of course, their national leadership is also represented. Dr. Yaoban himself, the president, has been addressing his members, explaining why the need for this industrial action. What they are doing now is to have an open floor session where, of course, the various smaller groupings within TUC will then raise their peculiar concerns about the sale of the SNIT hotels. But the collective position that Organized Labour appears to be taking is that they want to enhance or scale up their labour operations. And that would mean that likely on Monday, we will have a full labour or industrial action from TUC, which will possibly include the withdrawal or a shutdown of their services next Monday. We will hear from, of course, President of the TUC in a few moments from now, and we'll update our listeners on what the other concerns would be from Organized Labour.
Well, that's my colleague Blessed Soga there giving us updates on that Organized Labour meeting, and we'll be following that closely for you as and when we get more right after that meeting and the decision taken by Labour on this decision for NPRA to give the green light to SNIT to sell 60% of its stake in some of 4 hotels. We'll bring that to you. Let's get into the election headquarters now. And your election headquarters is made possible by Petrosol, Clean Fuel in full quantity, CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, AICP and CIMA together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service, Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging gaps for positive youth development. And this afternoon, the running mate of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, for the 2024 elections, Dr. Matthew Prempe, also known as Napo, has apologized for comparing the achievement of Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, to that of incumbent President Akufo-Addo. His apology comes after a section of Ghanaians criticize him for claiming that President Akufo-Addo has outperformed all his predecessors since Ghana's independence, including Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba joins me in studio with more from that statement. Maxwell, walk us through the apology letter.
Well, Emefa, he says that last Tuesday, 9 July in Kumasi, on the performance of President Akufo-Addo, his statement has elicited varied reactions. Now, he says the statement reflects his personal opinion about President Akufo-Addo's impact relative to other presidents we have had. Quote, I wish to emphasize that I never meant to disrespect our former president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, or any of our former heads of state, including my own grand uncle and mentor, Mr. John Ejikun Kufuor. I note the concerns raised after my statement. I apologize sincerely and regret any discomfort caused.
Okay. So that's the statement from Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. Well, this apology, as you've heard Maxwell read, has sparked some mixed reactions. A former campaign spokesperson for the NPP, Dr. Arthur Kennedy, says the apology is insincere.
I was disappointed by the apology. The apology did nothing except rub salt into the wounds of those who were offended. Kwame Nkrumah is not Kwame Nkrumah. He's our Kwame Nkrumah. He's Africa's Kwame Nkrumah. Africa's man of the millennium. And I think that a genuinely humble and regretful apology would have been nice. Napo's faux pas is even worse, particularly judging context. Remember, the whole week before he was named, there were people talking about his perceived arrogance. And actually, on Joy FM's news file on Saturday, I said that I was disturbed because the people who were defending him seemed to be giving us the impression that arrogance is a virtue, from some of the comments that they made.
Well, but a Center for Democratic Development fellow, Dr. John Osai Kwapong, says it's a good step.
For me, it's good that he's come out to render an apology to those who have taken offense. And hopefully the focus can get back to him and his party and why he's the choice for Dr. Bawumia, etc., etc. Because I think that is what they were hoping to have. But unfortunately, it has been overshadowed by that statement. So hopefully this corrects, or at least helps correct that.
The CPP is, however, skeptical about the apology. Here's the secretary to the Independent Committee, Kwame Botio.
I have seen a copy of a purported apology from Honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. The first thing that comes to mind is that I have not heard him apologizing, but it is allowed to apologize in writing. However, this apology letter does not bear his signature or any other signature. So to say we can respond adequately to it will be an exercise in futility. That is my view. Until we see a signed statement or we hear from him speaking to the said letter that he issued it, then we can respond appropriately.
That's Kwame Botio there. He's the secretary to the Independent Committee in the CPP, taking us out of the election headquarters. Now come with me to the Tema Apawu Road, precisely the Tema Community 25, Boom Pram Pram, Gulf City. You haven't experienced it? Well, residents and commuters along the stretch this morning poured on the streets protesting delays in completing the Tema Apawu Road expansion project. President Akufo-Addo cut sword in 2020 to upgrade the dual carriageway to international standards, including 10 lanes, 6 on the motorway and 4 for local traffic. However, residents say after 4 years, no significant progress has been made. They are demanding the immediate recall of the contractor to the site as the delays are negatively impacting their lives. Carlos Caloni spoke to some of the organizers.
Why? We need road. This road has been started not now. About 7 years, 5 years now. The road is still not completed. What do we do? What have we done to deserve this? The only problem is voting for a president to come and rule over us. Why? We need our road to be fixed. We are talking about the 25 road from the motorway to the Wenya. That is the road we are talking about. What is the challenge with that road? Potholes, and the road is supposed to be expanded. They started the job is not finished. Everything is on the road anyhow. Potholes, too much traffic.
From 25, when you are going to from T1, it can take you about maybe 1.5 hours to reach where you are going. It's really, really bad. So we need government to help us to fix the road for us. Please, please.
We are told that some women are even quitting their jobs because of the situation.
Yeah, as you can see, like when you are going to work, maybe sometimes you need to park your car and take it like trotro, because it's really heavy. It's killing us. So we pleading God should come, government should come and at least fix it for us. Because even when it's raining and you are on this road, it's very, very bad. Very, very. So we need government to help us.
Well, that's my colleague Carlos Kaloni there interacting with some of the organizers of this particular protest. He's still on the ground for us. Carlos, well, tell us about this particular road as you've seen it today.
All right, so Emefa, I can tell you the road in question is actually the one from Tema Motorway Roundabout all the way to Mutual, where Central University is. And the residents have a few demands. First of all, they want the government to order the resumption of work on the 17-kilometer long road that is between the Tema Roundabout and the Central University. They also want the government to provide a fresh timeline for the completion of the expansion work and also ensure the safety of commuters by filling current potholes. So these potholes and the narrow state of the road is actually causing a lot of delays on the stretch.
Well, that's my colleague Carlos Kaloni. But have we heard from authorities in that area what exactly is stalling the project?
Well, the news team actually visited the offices of BHM Construction Limited in Pong for some answers. In fact, when we went there, the offices remained open, but the officers remain tight-lipped on what is the reason why they are still not carrying out the project.
Okay, that's my colleague Carlos Kaloni there giving us updates on that protest embarked on by residents along the Tema Community 25 Road. Now, let me take you to Parliament, and there's good news for dual citizens wishing to hold certain public offices where they were hitherto banned from holding. The Constitution does not allow dual citizens to become MPs, hold the office of the IGP, or become ambassadors or high commissioners. But the private members bill is seeking to change all that. My colleague Kwekwa Sante joins us to fill us in on all that. Tell us more.
Well, Emefa, if you look at certain sections of the Constitution, if you want to become a member of Parliament, you have to renounce your dual citizenship. Listeners will recall the case and all that. But a member of Parliament, Kennedy Okenye, is seeking to change all that. He has put before Parliament a constitutional amendment bill that will seek to change all that. And so, if this bill is passed into law, you can become a member of Parliament even if you're a dual citizen. You can become an ambassador. You can become a secretary to cabinet, Chief of Defense Staff, IGP, Commissioner of Customs, Director General of Immigration, and any other office that will be specified by an act of Parliament. And that will be a huge change for persons who are dual citizens who hitherto were not allowed to hold these offices.
Can you be president or a vice?
No, the committee does not agree that you should become a vice president or the president if you are dual citizens. They say that these offices are quite sensitive, for which reason they still want the constitutional provision that prohibits persons who are dual citizens to become president and vice to still remain in force.
With that out of the way, what else is Parliament considering today?
Well, today we are getting some finality in terms of when exactly the Minister of Finance may come to Parliament to present the mid-year budget review. Hitherto, we were told it to be 12th or 15th, but now the business even presented this morning says it will be next 2 weeks, Tuesday, and Finance Minister Dr. Amin Adam will be expected to present a mid-year budget review to the House.
Okay, that's my colleague Kweku Asante there giving us updates from what's happening in Parliament. Let's focus on health now. And if you missed the Joy News National Dialogue on Non-Communicable Diseases, health experts are calling for immediate steps to avert a looming health crisis as non-communicable diseases continue to claim over 94,000 Ghanaian lives annually. Experts who spoke on the dialogue are recommending educating children about healthy eating, increasing healthcare funding, as well as encouraging fiscal activities to stem the tide of the silent epidemic. Emmanuel Jivenu, one of the organizers of the dialogue, has more in this report. Read to you.
Hypertension, kidney failure, and cancers are on the rise, yet efforts to address this growing issue are falling short.
If we don't take immediate action now, by 2030, Ghana will spend $6 billion every year on tackling NCDs.
Professor Gordon Abekan-Nkrumah with the Health Services Management Department of the University of Ghana Business School stressed the importance of aligning the fight against NCDs with the interests of decision makers.
How are we communicating NCDs to the elite who have the power to make decisions when it comes to resource allocation, say the Ministry of Finance, say Cabinet? The way we package this message and carve it around their own incentives in terms of how this determines their electoral fortunes.
The national coordinator of the Ghana NCD Alliance, Labra Musa, also urged President Akufo-Addo to give these chronic diseases a national attention.
One of the recommendations we made to the president, if he can, make non-communicable disease a national concern, within his outfit, we could all see that COVID was virtually taking the lives of people living with non-communicable diseases. So let's have interventions by the presidency, so at least we can have, he can do this for probably before he leaves office.
Family physician at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Dr. Jacqueline Thompson, wants children to be introduced to healthy diets to reduce their exposure to the NCDs.
You have to tell the rich kids to stop eating junk food. Then we have to get the poor kids to have more nutritious food to eat. So when it comes to the school feeding program, why don't we make it such that everybody is exposed to the same thing when they come to school, so that they have that? So if we say that this is what we've provided, 2/3 of your meal has to be fruits and vegetables. You don't have any other option. That's what you have to eat. If the unhealthy foods are not available, they'll be forced to eat it.
The health experts have been recommending a number of measures, including increasing healthcare funding, launching public awareness campaigns, and improving access to preventive care.
We need to begin to work together with key stakeholders to drum home the importance of, indulging in a very good habit of eating, doing physical activity. Where we live and work, we need to ensure that we make provision for people to exercise. And we've seen it in some places where they've dedicated a day or two for workers not to use the elevator or lift. You work through. These are little things, but that I can tell you, at the end, you are likely to benefit from it.
There is the need for a concerted effort to avert a health crisis. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News.
And that's how it went down, the Joy News dialogue on NCDs, the silent epidemic. Well, there's more of that on myjoyonline.com. Visit all our social media platforms. And of course, on the Joy News channel, we bring you a playback of that. That's how we go for a quick break here on the Midday News, live on Joy 99.7 FM, in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. We'll return from the break with more on health and, of course, focus on the basic education certificate examinations as it ends today. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol is always a delightful experience. We'll be right back after the break.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
This is what the Olympics is all about.
Get closer to split-second wins. Closer to history in the making. Closer to your champions.
The greatest athletic achievements of all time.
Get DSTV to get closer to the 2024 Paris Olympic Games from 26 July to 11 August with 9 dedicated channels for the best coverage of every medal and every podium moment. On Supersport on DSTV, your home of entertainment.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
Here's to the friends who dialed star 712 hash and found no regrets. To the investors who struck gold. To the health workers who diagnosed luck with precision. To the tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. To the passionate fan who couldn't contain his joy. To the seamstress who turned her hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, here's to you. Your next big win is right here.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
Dial star 712 hash. Now join in the luckiest winning celebration. Every 1st July 2024. Over dial star 712 hash. Now I can swap to tickets as a group, individual, and now even as a community. Now win is the car prizes are in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Now join in the winning streak now.
The luckiest
star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah, the luckiest.
Your company really appreciated here on the Midday News. Let's dig in now with some more stories. And the Ghana Health Service says it has made strides in reducing malaria-related deaths in the country amidst the struggles. EcoBank Ghana, through its Zero Malaria Business Leadership Initiative, with the support of the Multimedia Group, donated $100,000 worth of items to the Ghana Health Service to aid the fight in hard-to-reach communities. My colleague Michael Ashali has more in the following report.
Malaria, caused by the Plasmodium parasite, leads to fever, chills and headaches. In the worst case scenario, malaria kills. In Ghana alone, malaria caused the deaths of over 1,500 people from 2018 to 2022. Dr. Keziamam, who leads the National Malaria Control Program, says they have made more progress in reducing malaria deaths.
Last year, we recorded 146 deaths in our health facilities. That's a great reduction.
Despite these gains, the number of malaria cases in Ghana has been on an upward trajectory for years.
So we'll still have malaria in 2028, but we don't want to see deaths in 2028.
Amidst these struggles, the EcoBank Foundation launched the Zero Malaria Business Leadership Initiative, a beacon of hope in the fight against malaria. Spearheaded in Ghana by EcoBank Ghana, Speak Up Africa, and the Multimedia Group, Dr. Daniel Kasati is the head of marketing and communications at EcoBank Ghana.
So for now, we have disbursed our $120,000 in procuring these 3 line items: the Toyota Hilux vehicle you see here, the digital microscopes, and then the electronic tablets.
The Ghana Health Service is impressed with the hefty donation.
These items donated to us are very good in the sense that it will help fill the gaps that we have.
For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Now off to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, where cancer patients are facing extended delays and suspended appointments as the hospital's only radiotherapy machine is unable to cope with the rise in demand. The machine, which has experienced frequent breakdowns, was recently repaired but continues to operate at a reduced capacity, limiting the number of daily treatment sessions. Rejoice Emefa has been to the hospital's oncology department. Here's her report.
8-year-old Joshua is having one of his 33 sessions for the treatment of cancer.
Feel pain.
What do you want to become? You told me you love John Mahama. You can give a shout out to John Mahama. Anything you want to say to him?
President Mama, please, can you help me with my treatment, please?
You are hoping to get back to school soon?
Yes, of course.
He's one of the lucky few, as many have been told to hold on with their treatment. Appointments for patients requiring more than 6 treatment sessions remain suspended as oncologists at the hospital await comprehensive maintenance on the radiotherapy machine, which is currently operational but limited to just 10 sessions per day.
They worked on the machine and somehow they were able to get it back online. But when it stays on for a few hours, then the problem resurfaces. So then management has taken a decision that as a stopgap measure, we are treating patients who have about 5 to 10 treatments left.
Professor Joel Yane is head of oncology department at the hospital.
We should pay attention to non-communicable disease and cancer in particular.
That's Rejoice Emefa report, and the BEC is concluding today for majority of the 560,000 candidates ending a week marred by various examination malpractices. We know by now that 18 invigilators at least were arrested in various regions for aiding candidates and breaking the rules for the exams. My colleague Semefa Pesu has been observing in some schools here in the capital. She joins me on the line briefly with some details. What's happening?
Right, Emefa, as you rightly said, majority of the students will be completing today. They will end the paper. They have one more to go, which will be starting at 1. But they are excited that at least in a long time they'll be done with basic school. I've been interacting with some of the invigilators. We can take a listen.
You know that it's not easy when it comes to science and maths. But this year, I think it was a little loaded. But it is not above their level. It was within their level, just that it was loaded. But we couldn't have much complaint as if we weren't able to do or that kind of stuff. That one. It has been smooth and very interesting. I hope you all know that this is the first batch of the new curriculum. In fact, it was, I think, the creative arts and design. That is where the children had a little challenge because a new subject in the system. But in the whole, I think everything was peaceful and then smooth and then successful. We didn't have any challenge.
Well, I'm just thinking about what we did back then when we finished our
you
BEC.
know,
a
lot of but we did it because we were ignorant of what was ahead.
I know, right?
We would have
at
done
least
that.
we had crossed that head.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
What
That's
else
true.
are people
That's true.
talking about?
That's true. President Putin is trending on Twitter, and that is because in the last 24 hours, Joe Biden has got a lot of people worried. In fact, people in Ghana are also worried because you know the 2026 World Cup is happening in the US, and Trump is really tough on immigration, and we want Joe Biden to win. They want Joe Biden to win, and now Joe Biden in the last 24 hours referred to the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as President Putin.
Listen.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President, I'm better. You are a hell of a lot better.
The comeback was okay.
Brajo.
The comeback was fine.
His explanations for me.
Emefa, so Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh is trending after issuing his apology. As social media has been reacting, and this comment says, first week of dating and your boyfriend is already apologizing for insulting your father. There will be signs. And someone says, why apologize for your attitude? Feel free.
And there's a new Guinness World Record.
Yes, so we have to confirm, after Chef Smith. So they just replied me 12:18, and it says, hi Jacqueline, thanks for your enquiry. I can confirm the following record test for Guinness World Record title of most cars washed in 8 hours, and it was achieved by Felicity Asantua Ghana, Accra. So congratulations to her.
It's a Friday. Don't go and Smith anybody.
Let's get out of here. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Faith that overcomes is a message from Dr. Mensa Otabil right after this. Please do stay with me. I am Emefa Apawu. Have a good afternoon.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales,